It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got a duel in the Lone Star State. It's the Buccaneers and the Boys, next on Madden NFL 22.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction to the Cowboys, no exception. They're set for football in Big D, as their guys will do battle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, CD, you look at the Bucs in this matchup. It's a relatively balanced offense. The next-gen stats kind of bear that out. What do you think they'll be looking to do in this one?
I think it'll be exactly what you just talked about. They'll want to be balanced on offense, which means to them, they'll want everyone involved. See if they can get some one-on-ones in the passing game. Maybe identify some situations where even find some spots where they just want to play some old-fashioned power football. As one of the most successful coaches in the league told us once, the definition of balanced offense, that means you can do what you want when you want to, not necessarily just running it 50% of the time and throwing it the same percentage.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From the 6. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. Always fun to get a peek at Tom Brady as he gets in place to command this offense for Tampa Bay.
Well, we've all seen what Tom Brady can do on a football field for a couple of decades now. But how about his most impressive accomplishment? Moving to a different franchise and taking them to a Super Bowl title as well. Not many players can continually stiff-arm Father Time the way that he has.
On first down, Brady. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Throwing now is Brady. There's Evans again, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
I can hear you.
2 plays, 2 catches. You have a feeling they're going to look for him early and often, and that's to be expected. You got a player of his caliber, why not?
And I think it's also a message from them to the defense that you're not going to dictate to us what we're going to do with one of our better players, because so often you hear about defenses saying we're going to take away what you do best. In this case, they're going to move him around, find proper matchups, and make sure they continue to funnel the ball to him.
Throwing on first down is Brady. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already into field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. Brady's throw on target to Godwin here. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up second down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
5 yards remain on second down. Again, they'll throw with Brady. They'll swing this out to Fournette. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 1. To throw, it's Brady. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. Big completion there on 3rd and short. Keeps their opening drive alive.
Not only alive, but plenty of possibilities now. 1st and goal, and you know me. I'm a big advocate. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it early in the down and distance count.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Now Brady again. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Cameron Brate there to make the grab. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Ryan Suckup on for the point after. And that one gives the Bucs a 7-0 lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. First look at the Cowboys offense as Dak Prescott gets ready to guide them.
It's been a lot of fun watching him advance in his career. Many people question his ability to throw the football coming out of Mississippi State. He's conclusively answered that question. In addition, a very strong runner and an even better leader.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Washington. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Prescott. And this one quickly to Lamb. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Prescott's throw pulled in by Lamb. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. A gain of 6 there on first.
I have no crystal ball up here. I can't truly see into the future. But if they don't start getting some pressure on him, make him move around a little bit and do something with the receivers to, change up their timing, they're just going to get shredded as we've seen so far. Right now, they're off to a blazing start.
Yeah, and you are right. He looks way too comfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a pillow back there for him, all right? As a defensive guy, they've got to dump him on his backside a few times, shake things up.
Yeah, they're going to need an in-drive adjustment here on this first series. So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there. Trying to run for it with Pollard. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll try the right side with Elliott. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Prescott forced, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Akeem Hicks. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Prescott from the gun. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
On fourth down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And his first carry, he loses the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And this is going to be brought back for a fumble return touchdown by the Cowboys. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Extra point attempt here still to come. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Leonard Fournette and the rest of the Bucs offense set to take over once more. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
Second down and 7. Brady now to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Let's go!
That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result. Following the interception, here's Prescott.
Throw right side, taken in by Gallup. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by her. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
The Buccaneers offense ready to rock and roll again. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now a dump off here complete, and they'll bring him down right around the 13. That catch good for only a couple.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Throwing again on second down. Brady. This is caught by Evans. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A big connection on that one. 36 yards. Pretty good timing. He waited just enough for that post play to develop and laid it right in there.
And you know what a lot of teams do when they decide to throw a post route? Because it's a little bit longer developing play, they max protect. Bring everyone in, keep the tight end in, an extra back to make sure the quarterback has time to deliver the football.
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. A handoff to Fournette. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. A gain of 3, second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Fakes the give to Fournette. Now Brady. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Open man is Jalen Darden. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go back to the ground now with Fournette. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Brady. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Here's Brady to throw. Open man has got it. It's complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. These two teams all tied after one. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Brady. His throw incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. A handoff, Fournette running left. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. This one tough. They need 9 yards on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Brady. Letting one go deep for the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So Brady departs, and on is Ryan Succop for the Buccaneer field goal. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. And Succop will put this one right through, and they take the lead here now at 10-7. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no wind. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well,
Yeah.
right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is Tony Pollard. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
A first down throw for Prescott. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. He'll fire this deep for Gallup. And incomplete on the deep ball.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
Here's 2nd and 10. Elliott running right. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. Throwing, Prescott. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Here's Brian Anger now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. On 1st and 10, here's Brady.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Brady. Dumps it off to Fournette. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Brady going to throw. He finds his target. It's Evans. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds. A big play there on the catch and run.
Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find him at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Again, it's Brady. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Brady now on 1st down. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31.
Dorrance Armstrong. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Impressive individual effort there. No one was going to stop him around the edge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's why if you play in a 4-3 base and you're a defensive end, that's why you get the big bucks. They count on you to do everything. Defend the run, and of course, get to the quarterback.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. On play action, it's Brady. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And the Cowboys are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Boy, the coverage there, airtight as he comes away with the interception.
Love that observation there because they were taking a shot at the end zone, but you're right about the coverage. Absolutely tremendous. And this they could clip for a training tape. Staying with him down the field, locates the football in the air, and comes away with the interception.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 20.
He'll hand it off to Elliott to begin the drive.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Well, that run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Draw play, Elliott. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Looking to throw. Prescott. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Here's Brian Anger now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. But they find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Yeah, can he put it aside? Let's find out.
Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10.
Right at the 30. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And Brady, the tight end's got it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
On first down, Brady. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
7 yards, the pickup there.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
Now Brady. Underneath, he's got Brady.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Again, they'll throw with Brady. Looking downfield for Godwin.
And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up.
This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Brady.
They're targeting Godwin once more, this time complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 31-yard line. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Brady's throw there complete.
And he'll go down at the 28.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
To throw again on 2nd down. Brady. A pass underneath for Fournette.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
A shotgun give to Fournette. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Now Brady. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
So Brady departs, and on is Ryan Succop for the Buccaneer field goal.
From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt.
Succop's kick is good.
And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Now Pollard. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
That's it, baby. We got work.
Dak and the Cowboys ready for their next possession. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. Their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either.
And most of the time you hear guys talk about how they don't let the crowd affect them or they block it off. Well, that's not really fully true, because a lot of the times you ride the wave of emotion with a crowd when it's positive for you. In this case, they've got to find a way to shake it off and at least get something done to maybe put the crowd back on their side.
Absolutely. Give these guys something to cheer about. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Prescott. Being chased out left. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
First down now, but the clock continues to move. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
2nd and 10. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He'll get this to Elliott. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Now stopped him in his tracks. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Mike Evans in the Tampa offense about to set up shop. Making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defense, is getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they've got a little under 40 seconds to go if they want to try to put something together here. Brady now on first down. And he's got his big tight end here. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The final shot before half for Brady. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from the first half for the Bucs. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they were on the other end of the spectrum in terms of passing efficiency. That's going to need to improve in the second half to come.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It's the Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume action in the third quarter. On the return, Tony Pollard from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. They do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21.
45, 45.
Second half starts with a carry by Elliott. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Meanwhile, Prescott's throw pulled in by Lamb. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, and then he curls back inside for the completion.
Here we go, 46. 46.
A first down carry by Elliott. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
You got 3. Here we go, 40, 46.
Prescott from the gun. Dancing to it, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Shaquille Barrett able to drop him for a loss of a couple. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
And I wonder what was going through his mind, because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Complete to Washington. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They get only 4 that time, as that leads us to a 4th down.
I know where we're headed on this. Terrific catch, gets his feet down, sets up a 4th down and short situation. But I bet we're wondering, why didn't he get to the 1st down marker running his route? Am I correct?
You got to know where the marker is, right?
Got to figure it out. I know every receiver is taught that. Sometimes circumstances change it. At least they have an opportunity to make a decision with not much yardage to go.
A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
Get it!
Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Brady. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Four yards remain for 2nd down. Fakes the give to Fournette. Now Brady. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Brady to throw. He completes this to Russell Gage. And he is going to have a Bucs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Brady again. And this is caught by Evans. 7 yards the pickup there. On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Couple of 1st downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Brady over the middle, complete. That's Evans. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
From midfield, here's Brady. Over the middle, he finds Godwin, complete.
Come on now, let's go.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Again, it's Fournette. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Brady. And he's going to have the hook up to Gage. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the third downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the third quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Brady now to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And the Bucs are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
And I'll tell you what, this offense is playing a little bit of keep away right now. They've come out here in the third quarter, possessed the ball for quite a while, and they keep on converting. Nice pitch and catch there to set up the 1st and goal.
Wait, 10, 20. Check, wait, 28.
Brady going to throw. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, 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 and finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. Brady will look to throw for it. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Pollard to return from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
Here we go.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
I know that we've seen their share of struggles, and the quarterback's been hit a few times in this game. This one can't be put on the offensive line. They gave him plenty of time to throw the football. I think ultimately he has to be a lot more decisive in his decision-making and get rid of it and find an open target.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Prescott to throw it. Swinging this out for Pollard. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback, D-line.
Prescott on 1st down. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Washington. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Meanwhile, Dak's throw there caught by Gallup.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. To throw is Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Steps away to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Prescott. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jamel Dean. And the Bucs are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
And we shift to spotlighting Mike Evans. Previous series, definitely a focal point. 3 catches, the touchdown grab. As a DB, or former DB, is there a number of catches on a drive you're like, oh, he got the best of us?
I'm not sure there's a number, but there's a great feel. And what he did on the last drive, yeah.
Especially with a touchdown.
Yes.
You're never happy.
You're exactly right. The way he capped it off, so you feel that at the sideline, and now you're looking at your buddies and saying, okay, what are we going to do to take things away from him? Because I'm not sure the other guys can make those sort of plays. So let's make sure that we don't let him get going again.
Well, that throw by Brady, incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Dallas, Texas is the spot, 3rd quarter inside AT&T Stadium. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10. Looking downfield for Godwin. A fight for it, and this is caught. It's caught indeed. A big play that time for Tampa Bay. We keep waiting year after year to see signs of Tom Brady's arm strength deteriorating, but his message there, keep waiting.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football, and this is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. To throw is Brady. And Brady has it over the middle. And the Buccaneers are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. They'll try and run forward with Fournette. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
They'll give Fournette another crack. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Buccaneers are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get him over the goal line.
Extra point try now for Succop. And that one makes this a 19-point game. So the drive there, 5 plays, 80 yards. And the man who finished it off with a run into the end zone, Leonard Fournette. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Now Pollard. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Arlington. It's the Cowboys in possession of the football, but they trail here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Prescott. Open man, right side, it's Lamb. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Prescott with a throw caught by Lamb. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. Prescott yet again. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Schultz. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 31-yard line.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a 1st down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Shaquille Barrett, his 2nd sack of the night.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Prescott, and that's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The Cowboys on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 16. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Sean Murphy-Bunting. Past the 20, and it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Suck up for the extra point. And that will bump the lead up to 26. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Now Pollard. And he returns this to the 22.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
The Dallas offense back out onto the field. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Back to it after the pick 6. Prescott. Now they go screen. It's complete. 7 yards there on the first down screen play. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
From the 29, Prescott. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Throwing. Prescott. Oh, a strip. The ball comes out. And the Buccaneers have it.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Hey, check Mike 11, check Mike 11.
Here's a give to Fournette. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
2nd down and 5.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Hey, check Mike 11. Check it, reload.
Now Brady. Godwin's got it. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A 9-yard touchdown there. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point put through by Suckup, and that will extend this big lead. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Now Pollard. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
The Tampa Bay defense coming back out now. And they forced the fumble last time. Now 4 turnovers for this defense. They've been darn good.
It's become a feeding frenzy, hasn't it? I mean, almost like the sharks. They descend upon their prey. That's what they've done this entire game. 4 takeaways, they preach it, and today they're living it.
Well, when you have that many, you probably think, all right, well, we'll just get another one now, right?
That's how it works. Everyone feels like, if I didn't get one, I'm doing something wrong.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the 1st. Now Prescott. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Prescott now. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Shaquille Barrett make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the 1st down sack. Prescott. That's caught. It's James Washington. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 5. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Here we go, 47. Here we go, 26.
Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Mike McCarthy took the gamble, didn't pay off. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Wait, that, round 80. Round 80. You better bring. I'm letting you know right. Wait, 28. Hey, check Mike 11. Check. Wait, 28.
Now Leonard Fournette. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Fournette once more on 2nd down. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a 1st down. 49 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So a good run by Fournette. Now another 1st and 10. Here's Brady. Evans has it left side. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Wait, that, 53. Bandit. Hey, check Mike 11. Hey, 72.
Fournette. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
The Bucs on 3rd down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Brady now to throw. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. The 4th touchdown pass of the game for Tom Brady. And the Bucs offense continuing to pour it on. So definitely a good day's work throwing the football. Very good day's work. A 4th touchdown pass as they're really pouring it on.
Yeah, and so much for going into clock mode after getting that touchdown, right? Because you would think with the lead, 4th quarter, they might actually do that. No chance. They've kept attacking and got another touchdown pass as a result.
Extra point up and good by Suckup. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now Pollard. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throw left side taken in by Washington. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards the pick up there. Second down and 3.
I'm coming after you. Hey, check Mike 45. Check Mike 45. Come on.
Here's Prescott. He'll have a 1st down past the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Prescott looks to throw on 1st. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Check 45 to Mike. Check 46.
1st down, Prescott. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. And that's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Prescott from the gun. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Vita Vea breaking through to get the sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Here's Brian Anger now. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Go home, boy. No play, no game. Make it happen.
So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now?
Let's go, baby.
At about
Let's
the
go.
18-yard line, it looks like.
Back now comes Tampa Bay.
And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive.
Hey, check Mike 11. Hey, hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. Shadow.
They'll try and run some clock with Fournette. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll run it again with Fournette. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there.
And, Brandon, this is where it pays to have a big back who can take over a football game, especially in the 4th quarter when you've got the lead. Your ability to not just wear people down, but close games out.
Under 10. 10. We got 4. We got 4. Regular. Hey, 66. Alert.
A handoff to Fournette. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.